Hey there, having camera problems. Um, today we're talking about the coordinate plane. We are on page 293 in your book. It's lesson 6.8. It's the last lesson in this chapter, and um, we're going to go through this and then we'll be studying for a test, which I'll make a separate video for. Hopefully, you guys will come and pick up a packet or I can email it to you. It's like 19 pages, so if it's possible for y'all to come and get a hard copy, that would be ideal. But if not, I can send it to you and you can print it at home. So again, we are on page 293. This is not the first time that you guys have seen the coordinate plane. I believe we did some of it in sixth grade. In addition to what we're going to do out of the book, there is in your packet a piece of paper that, if you pick up the hard copy, is printed front and back, that you're going to fold into like a little informational. It looks like a pamphlet, like you would get at a doctor's office or whatever. You're going to fold it and then put it in your notebook. There's an activity that goes on here, so that's going to be homework for one night, and then there'll be homework for a second night on this same thing. We'll be covering it over two days or something like that. Anyway, let's get started and go through information about the coordinate plane. This is an example of a coordinate plane, and it is formed by the intersection of a horizontal number line called the x-axis. This is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis. Okay? The x-axis and the y-axis meet at a point called the origin. That's right here in the middle, O-R-I-G-I-N, okay? And then it divides the coordinate plane into 4 quadrants, and they start right here, and they go counterclockwise. This is quadrant 1. They use Roman numerals. This is quadrant 2, quadrant 3, 1, 2, 3, and quadrant 4. Okay? If you look at the top of page 293, you're going to see a couple of different coordinate planes that are on here. The origin sits at point 0, 0, always, okay? And the numbers on the axis at 0 right here, if they go this way, they're positive. But if it goes less than 0, it's just like a number line that we used when we started studying integers. Under 0 or less than 0 are the negative numbers, negative 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just like your number line. This is the y-axis. It's the one that goes up and down. All the numbers above the x-axis are positive, while all the ones underneath here are negative. So everything in quadrant 1 is positive. X and Y is positive, both of them. In quadrant 2, X is negative, or negative, yeah, sorry, it'll be negative, and then the Y is positive. Down here in quadrant 3, everything is negative, 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 looks like a bird face or something. And over here in quadrant 4, X's are positive, but Y's are negative. Points in a coordinate plane are represented by ordered pairs. I'm going to move this over. Ordered pairs. In an ordered pair, the first number is the x. It tells you where to move to on the x-axis. And the second number is the y. So just remember that the x comes before the y when you've got a coordinate plane, and you have to use parentheses around them. Otherwise, they're just 2 numbers separated by a comma. So you always need to write them like this in parentheses. It says, I'll use a red marker here, that put a point P up here at -3, +2. So X always comes first. We've got -3, +2. So I always start at 0 and I go back 1, 2, 3 places and it's +2. So I'm going to be going up 1, 2, and then I put my dot here. This is point P that they talk about in your book. Okay. Point Q, this is P, and then point Q is 0, -2. If I've got a 0 for X, that means I'm right here on this Y-axis, and -2 would be right here. So this is point Q that they talk about in the book. It lies on the Y-axis. A point on an axis is not in any quadrant. Write that down. A point on an axis is not in any quadrant. Okay, so in your assignments, when it says what quadrant does point Y lie on, if it's on either one of our main axes, it's not in a quadrant. The answer would be the Y-axis or the X-axis, okay? Let's go on to example 1. Let me get everything erased. Okay, so example 1 in the book says, name the ordered pair that represents the point. And I have graphed the same points that are in your book. I've got A right here and B down here. Okay, the first thing that you have to do is find your X. I'm going to see how many over I go on the X-axis. I always start at 0, 0, which is the origin. Okay, and it's over 1, 2, 3 places, point A. So I know that the X value is 3, and I go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So point A is at 3, 4. The ordered pair is represented by 3, 4. Okay. Point B is down here where everything's negative. Okay. So I know that my X and my Y both are going to be negative, but I have to find my X first because X comes first in the ordered pair. So I start at the origin and I count back 1, 2 places. So my first letter, my X, is -2, and then I count down 1, 2, 3 places. -2, -3 is what point B is represented by. Its ordered pair is -2, -3. Okay? Get that written down. All right. Let's see, if I were to write a point up here, what would this be? You guys do that one on your own. Pause the video for a second and do that one on your own. C would be, you always start with the X and you go back 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, and it's up 1, 2 on my Y-axis. So my C point that I chose, the ordered pair is -4, 2. That's my X and Y. It's like the address on the coordinate plane for the points. Okay? Let's see. All right, let me get ready for example number 2. Okay, for example 2, they tell us it's about plotting points in a coordinate plane. Okay, the point P is the ordered pair is 3, -4. Okay, so what the problem wants me to do is to take my coordinate plane here and plot 3, -4. So I know that my X is positive, so I'm going to start at the origin right here, and I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3. But then my Y value is negative, so I'm going to go down from here, which is 0 on the Y-axis. I'm going to go down 4 places, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to put a point right here. and this is point P. Okay? Q is -1, -3. So I start at my origin, and I go down over 1. I go to my left because that's where the negative x's are. -1, and then it's down -3. 1, 2, 3. So here is my Q. Okay? And then point R is 0, x, but up 2. So I'm going to start at 0 on my x, which is right here at the origin. And I'm not going to move this way or this way. I'm going to go up 2 points. And this is going to be my R. Okay? Rewind this and watch it again if you have any questions. But we forgot to do part of it. The other part of the question is to tell its location. Remember to read the directions in your homework, okay? Sometimes it wants you to tell me where it's located. Point P, this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. All right, so point P is located all the way down here in quadrant 4. You could also say Q, IV like that. Point Q, although it's really close to an axis, is located in quadrant 3. Okay? And the R value, or the point R, is going to be on the y-axis. Okay? Just a couple more. If it had one that wanted a point at 0, 0, point B at 0, 0 is located at the origin. All right, and then there's another one. Let's do C is -2, 0. So I'm going to go back 2, but then I don't move up or down at all in my Y. So this is point C, and its location is on the x-axis. Okay?